Today, we're going to get some advice from a qualified financial advisor who's going to help us about how we can become better managers of our finances. I'd like to introduce Jannette Moseley now. Jannette is a financial advisor with Oracle Advisory Group, who are a wealth advisory firm with offices in New South Wales, Victoria and Queensland. Thank you. Hi Jannette, how are you?
Good morning. Thank you for that, Amanda.
So, Jannette, tell us about, thank you for sharing your experience and coming to us from your 𝗵𝗲𝗹𝗶𝗹 office. I'm really pleased that today we're going to be getting a view from a regional area rather than just the metropolitan. Perhaps you could start by giving us a bit of an introduction about your employer, Oracle Advisory Group.
Yes, well, Oracle commenced in 1987 and during 2017-18 currently is named Oracle Advisory Group. So we're an independent wealth advisory group. We're not aligned with any banks or any other institutions, and based, as you say, in 15 locations. And we're here to help people with financial planning, accountancy, mortgage broking, and general financial needs. And we like to build long-term, lasting relationships with our clients, encompassing all of those facets of their life.
What do you see the role of a financial advisor as being?
I think one of the most important things is to be a good listener, because we really need to listen to what a client is wanting us to help them with. You know, what are their goals, their aspirations? What are their problems or issues that we need to help them address? So unless you actually listen to the client and hear their particular concerns, you know, that's the way to start going forward. So after we can document all their current issues, we can then look at researching how to address those to provide them with a financial plan.
What kind of information do you need from the client?
Before I meet with a client, basically to draw up a plan, I need all of their important documents, all of their financial matters. So things like bank account details, pay slips, superannuation fund statements, insurance statements, share statements, mortgage details, interest rates, all that kind of thing. So once we get all that together, we can put their client profile together, as we call it, which gives us a statement of their current position. So then we know what we're dealing with, what we have, what the liabilities are, what the income and debts are. So we incorporate this into their financial plan. So it's a very good record for them to put with the statement of advice is a very good record to put with their will, for example, as it's very useful for their estate if they need to see, you know, if somebody passes away, what did they have? Where is it? You know, it's a record for them to say, this is where everything is and this is what they have.
I have to ask you, have you followed this piece of advice?
Yes, I have actually, because I think it's very important to have all your essential documents together and for your family to be able to find them and know where everything is. So I put all my things together in an old briefcase and my son knows where that is so that he can go and look for it.
It's a good idea. What do you think are the most common reasons that a client might come to see you?
Well, as you can see, I live in a regional area, so a lot of farmers and families, they want to know about how to plan for their future. You know, over time, things like, you know, older farmers maybe not being able to manage the priorities of the farm anymore. So how can they plan for when they will leave the farm? So I help them to draw a plan, work with their accountants to do that sort of thing. But also, 𝗵𝗲𝗹𝗶𝗹's a large regional city, so we have got the city type clients, and they might be looking at growing their superannuation tax effectively, having insurance protection, you know, in case they can't work anymore or something happens in their business. Savings and growing their investments for their future retirement is very important to them.
And what about if there's that situation where there's been a bereavement in the family, you know, where someone's lost their spouse?
So that's often a case where the lady or husband would need to learn how to cope financially on their own. Sometimes that's the first time that they actually come to a financial planner, because they suddenly say, my partner handled all this before, and we don't know what to do, what we have, where it is. So we have to start that diagnosis, that fact-finding stage at that point.
How are you able to help women particularly with this sort of situation?
I think women particularly need to be comfortable that they can cope, that they can manage. So having someone to listen to them and to know what their issues are, then helps us to address resolving that for them. So I often talk to them about diversification of their funds, about asset allocation, depreciation, liabilities, liquidity. So these are all terms that they may have heard in the past, or their husband may have heard, or they may have gone to their accountants with their husband, and they just basically, like at a tennis match, what are they talking about?
Well, you've got me there. I've heard these terms too, but I'm not sure that I would know how to apply them to my situation.
Yeah, well, that's my role, to make sure that the client that I have in front of me understands these terms and their situation, so that they can talk about these things to their other professional alliances that they have, their accountants, their solicitors. They understand what's happening. They don't just sign on dotted lines without knowing what they're doing. Yeah. So I think it's really important to educate clients and help them understand and get a confidence in talking to other professional people about their own personal matters that will affect their life.
Yeah. If I came to see you about getting a financial plan done for me, what would you be preparing for me?
Well, we'd start at the beginning by having a good chat, and I'm sure with you and I that wouldn't be any problem. So I think opening up, feeling comfortable, really telling me about your goals and aspirations going forward. And then we look at your hard copy information to see what your actual situation was. And then we'd agree on what you wanted me to help you with. I would then go away and research how best to help you. There's a lot of things that we do behind the scenes, and eventually document that for you. And you'd be able to see then where you're at now with your financial matters, where you will be if you took on the recommendations we gave to you, and it would give you sort of a time lapse how things could be if you implemented other activities.
Do you think there's much of a difference between male and female clients in terms of what they want to do?
Not really. Everyone wants a good return and wants to work out the best for them. Both men and women, they want everything to give them the best that they can in the time that they have.
I suppose preparing for family, for their families as well, is kind of an important part of that planning.
Yes, it is. I think people need to be able to look at everything towards the family, the estate, how things will be passed on, how they want things to be passed on, to make sure these things happen.
So you're planning for the long term as well as both short term and long term goals?
Absolutely. And the sooner you start, the better. But if you've got a longer period to plan for, you can certainly take advantage of what we call dollar cost averaging, where your money works harder for you over time. You're putting money in at different times, so the funds grow at different rates for you, depending on the market at the time. If you've left it till the last minute, we can still have a look at how we can best help you to see what you've got and how we can work with it for you.
Okay. So some people might be a bit nervous about going to see a financial advisor because advisors have kind of developed a bit of a reputation for running scams. At this moment, I'm thinking about the late 𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗹𝗁, for example, who took millions of dollars from her family and friends and pretended to invest their funds in fake investments. Is there anything a person can do to check on the credibility of their financial advisor?
Yes, there absolutely is. Legislation's changed a lot over the years, and ASIC has a Financial Advisers Register where anyone can check on the history and qualifications of a financial advisor. For example, 𝘵𝗵𝗹𝗁's business did not hold a financial services license.
Okay.
So that would have been a red flag straight away. You can just go into ASIC, look up the Financial Advisers Register, type in the advisor's name, and it will give you their details, who they're licensed with, who their employer is, their background, their experience, and whether they're members of financial associations and so on. So see, when an advisor joins a licensee company, which is then registered with ASIC, it carries out a lot of background checks, like police checks, educational history, work experience, qualifications. So all that's done to protect the consumer. And we also adhere to codes of ethics and do, lots of continuing professional development training during the year. And furthermore, our licensee audits our work every year so that they ensure we're meeting the professional standards and doing the right things for clients.
Okay, so can you give me an example of where you've had a successful outcome with a client?
Well, I've been an advisor for over 20 years, so hopefully I've had quite a few successes. One particular moving memory I have is of a lady who came in to see actually a different professional in the office, and they were crying in his office, and he called me in, and he says, "Oh, this poor lady, she doesn't think she can survive now. She's on her own. She's not going to have enough money to live on, and she's really distressed. Can you come and help?" And after talking to her, we were able to work out that she actually was going to be quite well off in retirement. She was going to be fine. She just didn't understand her funds and what she had and how they worked. So she went out very happy. So that's just one case, for example.
So do you think you only need to be retired when you come to see a financial advisor?
Oh no, not at all. As I said before, the younger the better, really. But at any stage, you can gain from having some education in financial matters, understanding terminology and so on. I mean, I had another client, again, but, just didn't understand any terms. And she was going to an accountant to sort out her husband's matters and the solicitors. And by having just an hour and a half with me and a really good chat about situations, she was then more comfortable to go to those other people and talk about her matters. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Okay, so Jannette, thank you so much for sharing your time and your expertise with us today. I think I certainly have a better understanding of what a financial advisor does and understanding how you could actually assist me to better manage my finances. Thank you today.
That's fine, Alice. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.